Welcome to the What's Happening Birmingham video podcast.
Hello everyone, this is Jarvis Scott with What's Happening Birmingham. Today I have the honor and pleasure of being with Miss Tiffany Alexander. She's the office manager for Pediatrics PM. So Tiffany, good afternoon.
Hi, how are you, Jarvis?
Great. Thank you for taking time out your day. Reason why I want to bring Tiffany in, I recently read about an article in the Birmingham Times, especially check out that article, just basically told her story and why she came to Birmingham and her business and all the great organizations that she's a part of. So we first start off with Tiffany. So tell us your story.
I am from Alexander City. I came to Birmingham in 2010 to go to UAB. I chose UAB just because I had a heart for healthcare. I just had a heart for healthcare growing up. I oftentimes say that the healthcare providers in my childhood just heavily impacted me and my view of healthcare, from my mom being diagnosed with cancer as a child to seeing the nurses and the doctors' impact on us. And it just wasn't even the doctors and the nurses. I mean, it was our pediatricians, it was our dentist, it was our dental hygienist that came and just surrounded our family with love, and it just had a lifelong lasting impact on my life.
Okay, so after graduation, you stayed at UAB?
Yeah, I stayed at UAB to work in healthcare administration. It was just a wonderful experience. I got more knowledge and resources and connections that I could have ever asked for.
Okay, so one of the things I looked up about you work at Pediatrics PM, which is a very unique name. So it's an urgent care facility.
It's an after-hours urgent care facility.
Okay, so it's a lot of them that's been popping up lately. What's the reason behind that?
So urgent care facilities were founded in the 1970s. There's been a dramatic growth here recently. In 2014, there were only about 6,400 urgent cares. Going into 2018, there was a massive jump to 8,100, and people are looking for there to be about 500 to 600 to open this year. People say millennials are the cause of urgent cares. Changing of family dynamics, before the 70s, you had a lot of stay-at-home moms that would take their children to the doctor during the day, whereas now you have, two working parents, and that model just isn't exactly convenient anymore. And just going, from the baby boomers into the millennials and in Generation X, people want convenience. So that's kind of the model at Pediatrics PM, is the convenient care at inconvenient times.
So what's your hours?
So we're open 5 p.m. to midnight. So we have flex hours from 10 p.m. to 12 p.m. So if we have patients that schedule appointments after 10, then we'll see them. But during our off seasons, we're open 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. Monday through Friday, and then Saturdays from 12 to 8. And we're closed on Sundays. During our peak hours, we are open. Or during peak season, we're open 5 p.m. to midnight, and then we're open Saturdays and Sundays 12 to 8. So 7 days a week during the peak season, and then during the off season, which is springtime, summers, when everybody's traveling and out of town. We're not dealing with flu season. We're not dealing with those back to school times.
So have you noticed that people like going there more than like the emergency room because it makes a stigma? And everybody?
It's still a growing model. A lot of people still turn to the emergency room. After hours urgent cares are a new phenomenon. So it's growing as people have heard about it. I do think that there's a very positive take on it. All of our customers have been happy. They say, we're going to tell everybody, but still, again, it's just a new model. It's only about a couple of years old.
Okay, so what do you think parents should look for in choosing one, since there's so many of them out here?
So there's not a lot here in Birmingham. We are the only one in Birmingham proper. There are some, in the suburbs, but within the Birmingham metro area, we are the only one. But I would say convenience, close to your home. One good thing about us is that we do contact your primary care physician. So when you come see us, it's not like we're trying to take you away from your primary care physician that you've had for 10, 15, or 3 or 5 years, whatever the time frame is. We send the note to your primary care physician, so they know that you came to see us. That way, when you go to them for a follow-up or go to them for your next appointment, then they can see, your child was sick 2 or 3 times last year.
All right, so transition, probably go back to college years. You are a veteran in the military.
So I did the reserves through college. For me, the Army was a family tradition. Granddad, dad, uncles, brothers. So it was just, we were just born and bred Army. I loved it. It taught me a lot about leadership. I think that it definitely helps me in the business arena. You just get skills that you don't learn anywhere else. You get connections. You make lifelong friends that turn into family. And it's just, I would tell anybody, I think that all people going out of high school and into college should do some time in the military, because I think that it just helps you, one, to grow up, two, it teaches you a lot about life, it teaches you a lot about discipline, organization, leadership. I know a lot of people may not agree with me, but I can definitely say that the military heavily impacted me and just the kind of person I am today.
All right, so I want to kind of go back to your other business, that your Tiffany Alexander Group.
Yes. So the Tiffany Alexander Group, and a lot of people always ask me, Tiffany, like, how did you come up with all this stuff? Like, what is the secret? And I tell people, like, I really wish I had a handbook and say, I am just a business genius, but I'm not.
Okay.
I am not a business genius. Tiffany Alexander is not a business genius. I can just say that when a need arises, you take opportunities, you reach out to mentors, you use the resources that you have, and then you do what's the best for that time. So here in recent years, I kept getting different projects to say, hey, you know what, Tiffany, you've got a background in the military, you've got background at UAB, you're active in nonprofits, like, can you help me do this? And you can't just keep taking those personal checks. You can't keep taking $20 bills from your friends. Like, that's just not okay. The government is not okay with that. So I formed the Tiffany Alexander Group as a demand. I just kept getting people asking me, Tiffany, can you help me with my event? Tiffany, can you help me with my business plan? Tiffany, can you help me with my nonprofit? And I'm always like, yes. And sometimes it's charging, sometimes it's not charging. Sometimes, I look at people and, when I started at UAB, even going into small business, whenever I asked somebody for help, they were always more than happy to help me. Even if I didn't have anything to pay them, if it was just, hey, I got a quick question for you, people were always more than willing to help. So when it came full circle and people started asking me for help, I absolutely felt like that there was a need that I had to answer.
All right. Since now you're here in Birmingham, what are some things that you loved about Birmingham since you've been here?
I love Birmingham. When I first moved to Birmingham, I thought that it was the biggest city.
Okay.
But I did come from Alexander City, so I came from a very small town. So the one thing I did love about Birmingham was it was growing. There were endless possibilities. So if there's anything that you want to do in the city, I feel like that you can do it. I oftentimes hear that you can't. You hear that Birmingham's cliquish, you hear that Birmingham is stagnant and all those things, but if there's something that you really want to do and you keep pushing towards it, you can do it here in Birmingham. We have resources. There's lots of growing resources here, everything from Innovation Depot to UAB's new innovation and diversity and inclusion initiatives, to the city's strategic plans in the areas of STEM and STREAM. So Birmingham is growing, and there's endless opportunities and possibilities for anybody that wants to do something here, especially in the growing times of entrepreneurship and the new markets of technology and innovation. Birmingham is in there with that. Some people may say, it's Huntsville, it's Mobile, it's Atlanta. Birmingham's right up there with it because Birmingham has a lot of talent. Some people grow up here, they move away, but Birmingham still retains a lot of talent.
Okay, I'm glad you asked that question. What do they need to continue to keep the young talent? Because a lot of them are leaving and they're saying...
A lot of people leave because they say that there's lack of resources. But, but when it comes to entrepreneurship, when it comes to technology, when it comes to starting your career, things aren't going to be handed to you. Sometimes you have to go look for it. A simple Google search. We search for, the latest videos and social media, but when it comes to our business and our careers and the things that, we want to do, sometimes we don't put the same effort in. So, you just sometimes have to search for it because there are programs out there. There are, hundreds and hundreds of nonprofits in the city that range from everything from community engagement to economic development to STREAM to basket weaving. I mean, if there's something that you want, There's a nonprofit out there for it. There's an initiative out there for it. You just have to go look.
Okay, so let's talk about all the great community organizations. In my preparation before this interview, looking her up, I was like, she's involved in a lot of organizations. Can you just tell about a couple of them?
Yeah, so I do quite a few organizations here. I am the co-chair for the Birmingham Community Affairs Committee. I am the vice president for the UNCF Young Professionals Advisory Council this year. I serve as the PR chair for the Urban League. I'm a member of the Minority Health and Research Board. So I love community engagement. I love helping people. I genuinely have a heart for people. I have an even bigger heart for children. So, when leaving UAB, it was just a huge world out there. I would say the first organization that I joined was the Urban League.
Okay.
The Urban League opened me up to many other opportunities.
Okay.
For me, the Urban League was a building block, within the young professionals arena here. A lot of people are involved in various organizations. So, one thing led to another. So, that was just kind of a very broad platform. It was an introductory level thing for me. And then I was like, you know what, I need to focus on more things in my career. And so I then went to join the Minority Health and Research Board, which focuses on healthy, happy kids. We have a year-long program that children are able to go through, and they learn about how to eat healthy, how to cook meals, how to stay active, and how to not be another statistic of health disparities within minority communities. I was then reached out to by UNCF. I did not come from a UNCF school, but I think the education is always important. So I just loved everything that they were doing about education and also community engagement. So I ended up serving on that board for a year, and then was nominated to be vice president this year. So all of those things go hand in hand with public health. There's healthcare, and then there's public health. Public health is a little bit broader of a topic. It's everything from the things you eat, to the job that you have, to the environment that you live in, to the home that you live in. And all of those things in turn affect your health and your health care. So it's kind of a full circle thing. So, a lot of people will say that education then leads to healthier lifestyles, and it's like, well, why is that? And the thought process is that if you go and you learn, and the time frame that it takes you to learn, then you'll put that same energy into your career, you'll put that same energy into your lifestyle, which then will go into your healthy eating, and then it just kind of all comes back full circle. So the Urban League is a very broad platform. Minority Health and Research is a very specified platform. And then, all in all, everybody needs to learn, everybody needs education, everybody needs knowledge, everybody needs to grow. So they all come back full circle for me in the arena of public health and community engagement, in order for us to have healthier communities, in order for people to have access to health care, in order for people to live healthy lives and live longer lives.
Because one of the biggest things going on in Birmingham now is trying to get grocery stores. Because we got a lot of
grocery stores. We have a lot of food deserts. Again, that's another public health initiative, which goes into where did you go to college, where did you learn, how did you grow up, where do you live, what's your environment like. So if you live in a food desert, you didn't go to into higher education. You're not going to have a healthy lifestyle, because you may be living in an environment that's close to, pollution. Then you don't have the knowledge base to know, how to live a nutritious life. Then you may not have the economic stability. So then you're not going to go to the doctor. So now you're living in an impoverished area with no food, very little to no income, and lack of knowledge. So, it all just kind of comes full circle in for people to live happier, healthier lives.
So let's look ahead, like 5 years down the road.
5 years from now.
What do you think Birmingham's biggest opportunity?
Birmingham's biggest opportunity. People are focusing on those 2021 games. there's going to be a lot of economic impact there. There's going to be a lot of opportunity there. For some people that may have not been outside of the region, there's going to be a lot of cultural impacts there as well. So I think that the 2021 games will definitely have a huge impact on Birmingham. I think it'll be a big opportunity. My challenge to our community is that we seize that moment, that our entrepreneurs, that our corporations get involved, that we learn from that, because that's a once in a lifetime opportunity. You'll never see anything like that again. So they say that your life experiences shape you, and I think that is definitely going to be something that will shape Birmingham. I think that I'm hoping that will be a catapult and affect our trajectory in what Birmingham looks like over the next 20, 30, 40, 50 years.
All right, what do you think is Birmingham's biggest challenge other than public health?
Birmingham's biggest challenge, I don't feel like that I can comment on that.
Okay.
I have a heart for Birmingham. I've been here 10 years. I love this city, but my view on Birmingham isn't it's not a complete view, because I wasn't raised here. I didn't grow up here. So, there are a lot of issues. There are a lot of, rocks that haven't been turned over that I just don't know about.
Okay.
So for me, I can say, keep pushing forward. I can say, our colleges need to keep putting out initiatives to retain students. I stayed in Birmingham because I got a job at UAB. So I would say that I think projects and initiatives that would work between our high schools, our colleges, and our corporations would be a great start. And that's being done. The Birmingham Education Foundation is at the forefront of that. They're engaging high school students to go into college, and they're trying to connect those high school students to colleges, to corporations. So that pipeline will, retain a lot of our efforts here. You've got the Forge where you're located. You've got Innovation Depot. There's a lot of opportunities for startup companies. I think we just have to keep pushing forward and make sure that those initiatives stay alive. That way, our high school students that graduate and they may go to college here, or other high schools outside of the city that may go to colleges here. If those colleges take initiative to make to offer opportunities to students here in Birmingham, and then also foster those entrepreneurial relationships. Don't bash people for saying, hey, I don't want to go into corporate America. If somebody says, hey, I want to be an entrepreneur, I want to start a small business, then our current initiatives need to sustain. Now they need to be sustained, and I think that's going to be a community effort. And then also, we have to keep looking forward. We have to keep moving forward. The things that are great now may not be good enough 10 years from now. So we just need to keep looking forward and see what does it take to keep our talent here and to keep people forward thinking.
Okay. So what would you like people to know that's tuned into this video? People that may be friends, supporters, people curious, but like, I know Tiffany, but what some things I don't know about Tiffany?
Some things you don't know about me. I like to think I'm an open book. A lot of people don't think that. A lot of people think that I'm always very business minded and maybe hard to get a hold of, but I'm happy to share my story with anybody. I'm happy to share my knowledge and my resources with anyone. I don't know it all.
Okay.
Like I said, I'm not a business-minded genius. I'm not a Harvard Business School graduate. For me, it was just staying true and steadfast to God. Taking the opportunities that He presented me, making sure that I stayed faithful to those opportunities, and just always stay genuine and honest and loyal.
Okay. So if people want to get in contact with you, what's contact information?
You can pretty much Google me.
Okay.
The Tiffany Alexander Group has a website. My personal contact information is there. If anybody, needs urgent care needs, Pediatrics PM has a website. You can Google that as well. We have a email address, phone number, website. We are a walk-in clinic, so we take walk-ins You can also check in online at www.pediatrics-pm.com. Pretty much any organization that you want to get involved with here, you can go through the Birmingham Community Affairs Committee, which also has a Facebook page, also has a website, and you can kind of pretty much be linked to anything through that.
Okay. Well, Tiffany, thank you for taking time out your day.
Thank you, Jarvis. You guys support Jarvis. He's doing wonderful things here. He's been here a long time.
I know. Great hell, y'all.
He's been doing this a long time. A lot of people pop in and out of stuff. People, they say they're doing marketing and PR. They may do it for a few years and they realize it's hard and then they quit. But I've looked you up too. I've Googled you. You've been doing this a long time, and you're true to the cause, and you truly want to support people and promote people. So I just challenge people to support and promote you as well. And I just want to thank you for this opportunity.
Oh, well, thank you. My main goal is, behind what's happening in Birmingham, is to tell what's going on in our city, past, present, future. And what better way of telling it than the people that's here in town making things happen? So, that was one of my reasons why I wanted to reach out to you, because I saw your bio and your story and things you're doing in the community. So, any way I can help you, please let me know. And
you touched on some important things with past. One reason why I chose to be involved with the Birmingham Community Affairs Committee is that it is a 50-year-old organization who's looking to stay around for another 50 plus years. So I think the history is very, very, very important, and that's something that I always try to do my due diligence in, which some people sometimes fail, is know your history. Ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask. The modern day cell phone, the computers, the Macs, the Windows, all those things are wonderful, and they're successful, and they're helpful to us. But at the same time, knowing your history and knowing the history of Birmingham, knowing the history of your family, all those things are really important as well, and should also guide you in how you move forward.
All right, so thank you again.
Thank you.
Maybe bring her back for a second interview.
I don't know what we're going to talk about.
Third interview. Well, when I go on vacation, I'm going to let her be the host a couple of weeks. She didn't know this. I was going to tell her.
With the mostest. I was going
to tell you after I cut the video, I was like, well, when I take a vacation, she can sit in on
hostess with the mostest. I'm here for that.
Thank you again. Thank you all for watching. Please check out what'shappenedbirmingham.com for the latest videos. And don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you all again, and bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching the What's Happening Birmingham video podcast. Please check out our website, app, or subscribe to our YouTube channel for the latest videos today.